Sonny Bonani, welcome back to another episode of Hearty Thursdays. Ngumama Zizwe, and I am here to fill your hearts with art. This is a podcast where we talk about art. We talk to the people that make the art, the people behind the people that make the art, and to the people that make the art, but a lot of people don't know that they do. And today we are so excited to have a painter in the house. Our guest, Chevy Noir, is a painter and a printmaker. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for honoring my invitation. How are you feeling?
I had to. I feel okay. I feel amazing.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm alive.
Good.
I'm alive.
100?
I'm alive.
I'm glad. So please tell me about you, your background, where were you born?
Okay. Background. My biological name is Katleho Khomo. I go by Chevy Noir. That's an alias which I picked up in.
Did I pronounce it right?
Chevy Noir.
Did I pronounce it
yeah,
right?
you did. But what most people do is you try to run through it like Chevy Noir. And I'd appreciate when people like break it up into its segment, Chevy Noir, because that's how it came about.
And how did it come about?
When you ask me about my background and my upbringing, I'm going to tell you about Chevy Noir, the persona that I am in this moment. He came about, I think it was in 2017. I was working for a shuttle company. And after studying at UJ, I did finance. Then I started working for a shuttle company. And 2017, I was trying to figure out, no, I'm lying to you. 2017, I was still in UJ. And there was a movie, Spider-Man, Into the Spideyverse. It was an animated one. And there was a Spider-Man Noir. He's black and white. He only sees in black and white. And what they did is they gave him a Rubik's Cube. You know those Rubik's Cube that you solve? And they gave it to him and they said, this is how you can figure out color. And he couldn't figure it out throughout the whole movie. And, you know, the weirdest thing for me was coming out of that movie, everything happened, gumnandi, sure. But that guy didn't see color. And it bothered me. So I walked out of the cinema, got to the parking lot, and I saw a Chevrolet Lumina SS. It was bright yellow. And I was like, you give this guy a Chevy, and he's definitely going to see color. And, you know, it's a metaphor of how you add a colorful, iridescent personality into a monochromatic, monotonous, dull atmosphere. And that's basically the background that Chevy Noir is. And that just entails in who I am and what I've done. I've done a lot of boring stuff, and I've been in boring atmospheres, and I'm a very iridescent, colorful person. And that's how I try and integrate my personality into my work and into who I am. So yeah, that's
Oh, wow. I really need to find a way to, you know, introduce myself that cool.
I mean, no pressure.
Tell me about the first time you ever held a painting brush.
First time I ever held a painting brush. I think that was in grade 9. Grade 9, I moved schools. I think I've been to 3 schools. So I moved to a school just near home. And my brother always did art. And at this age, at this time, I was like, he can't be the only one in the house who's an artist. As much as I knew I could draw, but painting on its own is different to drawing. So when I held that paintbrush, I was just trying to say to myself, I want to be like my brother. And I think, what else we had this project where we had to paint a Renaissance. So we have to, you know, Renaissance art for Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci. So you had to pick up a painting done by them and kind of reimagine it in your own way. And that was the first time I picked up a paintbrush. The painting was, in my opinion, trash.
Your opinion now or your opinion back then?
My opinion now and then. But the thing about art, obviously, is that how you perceive your art is not how the general public perceives the art. I mean, I think I got like 80% for the painting. It's on its own. So that was good. The reassurance and affirmation I got outside of myself was very nice. But that was the first time I picked up a paintbrush in grade 9. Yeah.
That's interesting. So artist proof.
Yeah. Studio.
What is that? What are you doing there?
Artist proof studio. I'm in the education side because I'm a student, but it's more than that. It's like a gallery. It's the workshop place. You know, they do a lot of stuff in the art. I'll just tell you about the side which I know, per se, the education. They offer students learnerships
Oh, that's
for
dope.
everyone to come and study printmaking. They take about maximum 30 students per year. Gradually, the numbers go down based on your performance and everything, but the fees are affordable. The course itself is so it's separated into three. There's printmaking, there's drawing, and there's visual art. The major, obviously, throughout the whole course is printmaking because
How long is the course?
It's 3 years
Okay.
with the additional fourth year, which is optional for you if you wanna become a printmaking major. So that's basically what Artist Proof Studio is. What is the other thing you asked about it?
That's dope. No, I was asking what you do there, but you also covered
Yeah,
it.
okay.
And how has your experience been? Because this is your second year, right?
Second year, yeah. It's been I've it's a bit shaky, you know. First year, I remember the first term was amazing because then we have it's separated into four terms, just like high school, you know. First term, second term, third term, fourth term. First term was basically an introduction to the school. They kind of welcome you and make you feel comfortable. They tell you you are an artist. You're just studying art to put, further your knowledge in it, and that was nice. That's very amazing. And I went in 2021, which was last year. COVID was dying out, but it was still very prominent. And I
Yeah.
remember towards the end of second term and the beginning and throughout third term, that's when we went back into not level 5, but a very harsh lockdown where you couldn't go out and everything. And then it was winter. And there has never been a winter much more cold than last year's. That winter took a lot out of me. And I hated school during that period.
Oh my goodness.
COVID came. I've had COVID 5 times. I've been, yeah, it was the worst. So I didn't enjoy that mainly because of personal things I was going through. But the school itself, yeah, it's been fun. This year as well, there's been a bit of a shaky road, but everything that is shaky is personal, not necessarily the course that you're doing. Everything that they teach you, you kind of, if you position yourself and welcome it wholeheartedly, it's very beneficial for you, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
it. That's nice. What are your mediums and why did you choose them?
Within, like holistically or just in terms of printmaking?
Like when I see you paint.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So what are your mediums?
Okay. So holistically,
Yes.
I prefer working on paper. I'll just start with that first.
Okay.
I prefer working on paper. I'm venturing into working on fabrics, canvas. I'm not really into working on canvas because it's very traditional. It's done. Every time when you think of an artist, you think canvas.
Canvas.
And also paper. But I like the paper mainly because my medium I use gouache, which is basically watercolor. But it's just a bit more rich and fine. So watercolor gouache on paper is amazing. The stuff that it does, the reactions it has, the way it communicates with the paper and yourself is amazing. And then when it comes to printmaking, the ones which we have learned through Artist Proof, we've got lino, we've got dry point, we've got etching, we've got silk screen, and for now I think those are the only ones I can come up with. I can remember at the moment. And dry point is also another one which I really love. I think, yeah, those are the dry point is basically you take a perspex. I don't know. Do you know what a perspex is? It's like a plastic glass. When you go to like the malls now, when you go pay by the till, they've got that see-through thing. That's
Yes.
a perspex.
Okay.
So you take a perspex and you scratch into it with a needle.
Oh,
And you make the art piece on
that's
that. You know what I mean?
dope.
And then you ink it up. And then you wipe. And what happens when you wipe? The ink sinks into where you scratched, and then you print it on paper under press, and that's dry point. So those are the mediums. It's watercolor on paper, dry point on paper. Venturing into doing all of them on fabric, but yeah, that's basically what I like to do.
That's really, really dope. Do you think it's important for artists, mainly visual artists, to go to school or to get some form of formal training?
Okay, the last part of the question is tricky because you say formal training, and is art a formal practice? I don't know. That's the question we can actually have. I don't know. I don't think art is a formal practice on its own. So having formal training I don't think you need to. When I was applying for varsity back after matric, I sat down with my brother and his friends, and we were sitting trying to figure out. Well, I asked him, "Hey guys, do you think I should study?" And one of my brother's friends said to me, "Listen, if you know what you want to do with your life, don't go study. Go and do it. But if you're not sure, but you have an idea of what you want to do, go and study so you can figure out what it is, how to mold it and how to perfect it." So at that stage, I didn't know. I then obviously I did financial service operations at UJ. Graduated that last year of that. I got depressed, or went through a depressive state, and that's when I figured that I need to do something I'm passionate about. Now, Fede, I'm passionate about art, in the sense that I can draw, I can paint, I have the ability, but what do I do with it? I had no idea. Can I make this a career? I saw other people making it a career, but I didn't know how to. And then those questions which I posed for myself led me to saying, let me go and study. And that's why I'm at school. So if you have these questions that you can't answer outside of school, go and study. Go and get the answers, because they will have them for you. But if you know how to answer these questions for yourself, then you feel to run for the win, bro. Go do you.
Nah? Wow, that's a very brilliant answer.
Thanks.
Yeah, it is. It is. Okay, so who are your biggest influences?
Biggest influences? Do you want like a top 3, top 5? I don't know how many you want me to say. There's a lot.
How many you got?
There's a lot. There's a lot.
Wow.
Influence is very. It's momentary, because you go through stages, you go through phases in life, and depending on the phase and the moment you are in life, you're influenced by something or someone. And then once you pass like a chapter, one chapter is based on this and that. So at the moment, I'll say my brother. Obviously, he's like on number one influences, inspiration. He's a graphic designer.
Okay.
Still does paint. Amazing painter. Oh, I feel like he's amazing. There's a guy at school. His name is Tino, Betino. He's our tutor. Just going to him, getting some insight, asking him how to better work. He got his advice and his input into your creativity and your identity is very amazing. Sheesh. I think for now I'll just say those two. Yeah, those two. Uziwe, Makaziwe, Khateb. She's actually one of the reasons why I went to Artist Proof. Mainly just watching her and how she grew in art was top notch for me. And I was just like, okay, if you can grow like that, I can do it too. And so she also inspired me a lot to go to do what I'm doing. So my brother Tino. So actually, that's actually a phase. Well done. I just saw it now. So my brother was the inception of it, the beginning. He inspired me to think.
Yes.
Ziwe inspired me to act, and Tino's inspired me to produce. So that's literally just a list of how I can categorize them.
And that's great how that just came up.
It just came up like now. I just realized it. Yeah.
Now take me through the process of creating a new piece of art.
The process of creating. A new one. So like if I had to go now and paint something, how would I go through that process? Phew. Okay, so first off, I'd look at the work which I have. I like working in series, and the series are basically umbrellaed by the color that So I'd have a green series, red, gray, blue, and then whichever of those series I feel short or is not complete or still needs something said to it, then I'll pick those color pigments. Now, what I do with my colors. Obviously, to make green, it's blue and yellow. So I don't use green. I would mix the blue and the yellow to create the green. To get gray, I've realized I mixed blue and brown, then I get gray instead of using black and white. Wow. So I'll choose those pigments to create the color. And depending on how I feel, determine whether I want to traditionally or put more of a certain pigment into it to create, you know. So that's what I'll think about, how to mix the colors first. And then, so my paintings are figures of a naked man, right? And I'm not yet comfortable taking pictures or looking at pictures of other naked men, so I use myself as a model because I'm most comfortable that way. So I'll go into the backyard, set up, my tripod, put the camera on, and take a video, undress and just walk around and do like normal, normal postures when you're walking around, like you're just walking and then you lean back, lean on a wall, sit down, stand up, and then I'll screenshot certain of those postures which I like. And then those postures will also communicate in a way of how you're feeling, and they'll form a foundation or a start point of the story being told or what's being communicated. So then I've got the colors, I've got the video, I've got the pictures. Then I get the paper. Now the paper, sometimes I'll use like an A4, an A3, or I'll cut an A2 into panels, depending on how I want to structure the addition to the series or where I'm beginning on it. And that also, in terms of the structure of the paper, tells a story. If you're in a panel, right, you're kind of boxed into a rectangular shape, so you're upright but very kind of elongated. If you're in a square, you're boxed into a certain, you're boxed. So what I want to venture into now is getting into circles and ovals, because I haven't done that yet. So just sneak peek, nyana, guys. So I want to work on ovals so that then that's what I get into it, and then I start painting.
That's very interesting.
Then from there, that's basically what I think about. I think about the color, the videos, and the size of the paper structure of it. And
that's interesting. I'm glad that you cleared this up for me, because I wondered, Duguti, who's this naked picture are you looking at?
Yeah, that's definitely me. Definitely me.
Oh, I'm glad to know. What do people usually say when they see your work?
What do people usually say? Well, most of the comments I get on Instagram are like, "That's dope, that's beautiful, Chesa, fire." Keep it up. And then I like showing it to strangers mostly, because that's where I feel like you get the most honest the opinion comments, which aren't biased. They're not trying to please you. And I remember selling to my first stranger, and the first thing he asked me was, how do you set your pricing? So and that's the only thing he said to me before saying, I want that piece. So he said, how do you set your pricing? I explained it to him. He said, I want that piece.
How was your answer? What was your answer? Sorry.
Instead of the pricing, I printed the pricing wrong. So I told him that, no, I printed the things wrong. So the pricing at the moment, because there were price tags on the side of the pictures, and then I told him that, no, that was wrong. Because there was a small piece for like 2,000. I was like, no, that's not how much it is. It's less. And he's like, okay. I understand. I want that one. And I was like, okay, cool. Do you want this one? Yeah, give it to me now. I want to go. And that's all he said. And I liked that experience.
I think I saw him at the exhibition at Con Hill.
Yeah, at the Open
Because when
Studios.
I was walking in, he was walking out with the piece. Yeah, I did see him. I did. And how do you describe your work?
How do I describe my work? Pictures of naked men.
Honestly.
That's how I'll summarize it. But I'll go into depth with it. It's an expression of subtle movements made by an insecure, heterosexual, black South African boy, living in today's climate. And today's climate changes on the regular, So these are expressions of this boy within the climate that he is in that moment, and how he feels he has expressed himself or is going to express himself. That's how I describe my work.
Oh, wow. Okay, so after matric, you've already held a paintbrush. You already know that actually I can draw. You already do your brothers there. You already know it's okay. Actually, I can do this thing. Why go to UJ to do a diploma in finance?
I didn't want to.
Okay.
I didn't want to have the ability to be different. I didn't want to have the ability to be amazing. I didn't want to have the ability to be great.
Oh wow.
I masked myself. I put myself in a box, and I wanted to hide.
And we do now.
So I remember and also I knew I could research whether I can study art, but I chose not to. I thought to myself, the only things you can study are finance, law, medicine, engineering. I put myself in that box. I threw myself there. I said, yeah, that's it. and then that's why I went into art. And then what happened throughout the course is every class I'd draw, every class I'd write. And then my peers would always tell me, if you're in the wrong place. And I said, no, I'm in the right place.
And you were in the wrong place.
Yeah.
You were. And when did you know that actually I want to do this thing forever? I want to paint. I want to do art forever.
Mm-hmm. I still don't know.
You don't want to do it.
I still don't know.
Okay,
if
when did you know
forever.
that you want to do it
but
for
I get
quite
the
some
question.
time?
I figured that, like I said, I figured that I can explore it. 2 years after UJ, working for the shuttle company, my boss at the time, great guy, amazing guy, came through with a new business proposal.
Okay.
Which I had zero knowledge on. He wanted to make us do tenders in construction. Nah? So mind you, I studied finance. Now I'm working for a transport company, shuttles, private shuttles. Now he wants us to do tenders in construction, right? Hey, Katla, do this. It's like, I'm looking at this guy like, yeah, now, what do you mean? And then, but I said to myself, no, don't box yourself. Do it. Do it. You're here, you're working, you're making money. Go. It took me 6 months to understand, to have a proper grip on the terms and the movement of a tender in construction. Now, a tender is not just paper. You have to understand the background, what the TLP is, what the conveyor is, surveyor, all those terms. It took me 6 months to actually understand them. And I said to myself, it took me 6 months to learn something I'm not interested in at all. How much can I progress in something that I actually am interested in, passionate about, which is art? So I said, no, I'm going to go and study art. And that's what made me say, okay, do it.
Oh, wow.
And then, then I put myself in that, And
then you started doing it. Yeah. And I feel like sometimes we sabotage ourselves. Like self-sabotage is like a real thing. Because you're like, okay, I want to do this thing, but who am I to be that great? Who am I to do something that amazing? Yeah. So let me just learn this and just do this, and it's not nice.
Yeah, it's a general fear of mine, being great. I won't lie. As much, and the thing is, what scares me the most, what did they say on Aquila and the Bee? Our greatest fear is not that we're inadequate. It's that we are whatever beyond powerful beyond measures.
That's true.
So
that's true.
I know, guys. I know myself enough to. I'm great. Like
you are.
But I hold back in fear of being great. And I know that many people out there do the same, but it's just scary. And now I'm just like, guy, it's it's time now.
You gotta
do it. I'm just putting myself out there.
I'm glad you decided to actually start doing it, because now we are experiencing all these beauty stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, take me through the process of planning for your exhibition, the one that you had in March.
Oh yeah, I'm in two minds about calling it an exhibition. I know we call it an exhibition as much as it was an open studio.
Okay.
During the whole Johannesburg Open Studios, I was with Hector Exclusified, and he owns the space, the studio space which I occupied. Obviously, he's an event organizer, cultural curator, and he runs WOW, which is World of Words, and because he's part of the organization at Transwerk, which is at Cornell, they obviously said to him, listen, it's an open studio, do something. And his thing is poetry. But then poetry wouldn't occupy the space.
It's very small.
So he came to me and he's like, hey, dude, because we were friends at the time. He's like, hey, yeah, here's a space. Put up your stuff. Let's see. And I said, oh, okay, for real? It's like, yeah, okay, cool. So we just set up our stuff and we opened the studio, and then the reception was amazing. I think we had over 80 people, 80 plus people attended. Very big names. I was exhausted as hell that first night of the opening exhibition, but I'm so grateful for everyone who came.
Yeah.
And seeing the faces, I was like, and the comments from those people was like, hi, boo. So I was really happy about that. And then we just decided to open it again, I think on the 11th of July, just so that those who missed out and didn't get to see my work, like my mom and my dad as well, my sisters, just come through and see the stuff. Just, it's here. And, you know, this is the first time I'm opening up a studio with my stuff. Just come and experience it. That was the thought process.
Oh, wow. I'm interested, and I know that you've already mentioned that your brother is a painter and your sister made that cool jacket. Do you come from a family of artists? Like, are you guys, because my mom sings, my dad plays the guitar and he sings as well.
Yeah.
So whenever we at like family gatherings, my mom's side of the family always singing all the time.
Yeah.
So even though I didn't understand that music is actually art growing up, but I was surrounded by it. So do you come from a family of artists?
At face value, no. My dad and my mom work in government. My brother and I are the only ones who draw, who are artists. My sister can draw, but she's into fashion, so she made the jacket, obviously, Dyna Tag. And then my other sister, well, she's studying psychology at the moment. Definitely no artistic backbone in her. My mom always told me stories about how she failed standard 8 because in math class she'll go in and draw.
Oh, that's dope.
That's what she said. She failed standard 8.
So we know where you got it from.
Well, you know, I've asked her to draw for me, and you know,
But she hasn't done it
I
yet.
haven't
Standard
seen it.
8, you were not there.
I'm
so.
just saying, I don't see it.
Well,
But
it's probably there.
I think with
somewhere
my
down there.
parents, they were shy to express themselves.
Or maybe opportunities and just knowing that you can
No,
actually
it's-
make a living.
Yeah, that's what
out
I'm
of
saying. They
it.
were shy because, you know, think about the time that they matured and when they were in the youth. That was proper still apartheid times, you know what I mean? And coming out of that, it's a matter of secure your future. So I think that was the, and shout out to them because they definitely did secure their future. They've got us here out just studying art. So, you know,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
very happy with my upbringing with my parents and everything. And I do wish that they could have expressed themselves more, but it's not too much to ask for, and it's okay.
Yeah, but it's a good thing that you actually are. So how did they take it, your parents, when you were like, fine, I did finance, but I actually want to be an artist, man?
They took it well. Because I finished the finance degree, diploma. Because I finished it, and I worked. I think they felt comfortable with my life decisions. They were like, you know what? Okay, you've proven to us that you can. So now, if this is really what you want to do, then we've got you. But understand, boy, that as in so mdala much, and to an extent, you have to secure your own future.
Yeah.
You know, we can support you to an extent, but you're gonna have to sustain yourself also to a certain extent. So, no, they took it very well. They're supporting me still. They're still around. You know, my dad. They came to the open studio.
I saw your dad.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
didn't know that it's your dad because we had a conversation. He was actually asking
I've
me.
got pictures and a video of you guys talking. He literally.
He was asking me questions. You were supposed to ask me, so what do you think about this? And then he was telling me what he's saying and what his understanding of it. I'm like, oh man, this Baba is so cool.
No,
and then later on to find out that he's actually your dad.
he did no he I don't know when was it. It was, I think, maybe after I graduated. That's when he started saying, no, let me what's the word, cater to my kids, like their desires and they whatever they want, you know. Let me actually just yeah, let me give it attention. And now he's like, okay, so what's the plan, Katla? How do you want to do this? I'm
That's
like,
dope.
oh, wait, Dad, here's 1, 2, 3. Chevy wants to do that. And it's like, I bet. Let's go, gang, let's go squat. Yeah.
Oh wow. Do you have like a mentor or someone who like guides you in this whole journey since you're still exploring it?
Not a specific individual who I go to on a regular basis. I invited Siabonga
Yes.
to the exhibition just because he's someone who obviously has walked the artist, path, and he knows, and I've met him outside of art quite a few times, and I just gradually enjoy his opinion on things. So I just said to him, listen, you're here, and I'm gonna use you because you're here.
And that's where I met him at your exhibition.
Yeah, I heard you guys talk about it in the previous one. So that he's obviously one person. Exclusified, mainly he knows the background of things, and our relationship was friendship, but you know who you're talking to, even if they're a friend or not. You know who they are.
True.
And it was a matter of like, oh, wait, you're my friend. Hey, tell me how you think. And he kind of helped me see the background of art from a different perspective, than I had seen it before. I'm very aware of my surroundings and my environment, but obviously there's some people who can tell you more. Yes. And he did tell me more. Mentor, nah, I'm looking for one. I won't lie. I do kind of reach out to a lot of artists now about mentorship programs. Justice Mukeli is one person who I'd really like to fall under his wing, because he's multifaceted. Obviously, he does like videography, photography, art, and he does a lot of stuff. And I'd like to just find out, hey, njani ngoku? And yeah. So there are people who I'm looking at, and I'm like, okay, I would like to hang out with you, but I don't think I want one solid person to say, yeah, this one. I'd like to have stages and people around, like a whole team
that pour into you differently. But they all help you to become better.
And I can also pour into as well.
Yes. That's very important. With every kind of relationship, friendship,
everything,
work relationship, whatever, you need to pour back. I always say
the most attractive thing about a person is their service to you, and some people interpret that very harshly, and it's not really harsh.
It's not.
What I'm saying is, you serve me, I serve you, and that's the most attractive thing ever.
Like value exchange.
Exactly.
Honestly, I've had like friends. And I've cut those relationships because I was benefiting and they were not. And whenever I try to, they wouldn't accept, meaning what I'm pouring into them, maybe they don't need it, or it's not enough for them, or it's not something that they want. So if I can't pour anything, because this is all that I have, so if what I have is not good for you, then we shouldn't, because that means I'm a parasite. I'm just feeding off of you, and
that's not. Yeah, you don't want that.
It's not a nice
shout out,
thing.
Self-aware.
You should be. Even if you're the one who's benefiting, if it's one way, it's not nice. It's not cool. I agree. It's not nice. Tell me, what is the difference between painting and printmaking?
Difference between painting and printmaking?
Yes.
Printmaking is a print, right? So there's a certain technique in printmaking. We call them monotypes. Okay. So a monotype is something, it's mono, one. So you make one of it.
Okay.
And you'll, for example, you see the perspex I told you about, the plastic glass thing. You'll take ink and you'll create an art piece on that, on its own. Then you'll put paper on top of it and print it. Then that becomes a print, right? Because you've taken this on this surface, you've put it onto another surface, and you've printed it. Right, in a paint.
Do you use like a normal printer, or is it?
No, it's a press. It's a. I'd have to show you.
That's what I'm trying to understand.
It's like a printing press, in layman terms, and just for the purpose of not over explaining it too much. Imagine if you made, like I say, you paint on plastic glass perspex, you put it on the floor. You take a piece of paper. You put it on top of that perspex. You drive on top of it. with
Okay.
a tire of like you drive on top of it.
So
Yeah?
whatever is on this
Then
thing
so
is gonna be
a
on
printing
the paper
press
as well.
basically is the pressure. It's like a machine, it's got a surface, it's got a rolling thing, and then it's got like a wheel which kind of, and it goes over it like, yeah. So
I see
that's
it.
yeah.
I see
So
it.
like to
That's-
answer the
that's
question
great.
again, the difference between a painting and a print. Painting is directly onto the piece of paper or onto the surface that you're going to keep it on. So if I painted on the perspex and I displayed it like that, so say for example this glass here, if I paint on the glass, not on the glass, and I paint on it and I display it like that, that's a painting. But then if I paint on the glass and print it on the paper, then it becomes a print.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's great. I feel like I should just text you whenever I need
I mean,
help with
yeah.
anything because you're good at describing stuff. I just see it and now I
Okay.
understand it
I'm
better.
glad.
'Cause I would've-
I'm insecure. I'm like you. I hope she gets it because I don't know
Oh
if I'm
no, I
explaining
do.
it right.
Oh no, I do. Trust me, I do.
Okay.
Tell me, what's your why?
What's my why? Ultimate why? Like, why do I live? Why am I alive?
Your why with everything. Art. Why do you create? Why do you do what you do? Why do you?
I have the innate ability to create beautiful stuff. I have a perspective and understanding of things that is not traditional and not necessarily communicated much. My perspective on things is pretty much, it's not rare, but it's not common. So I feel that I have to kind of share, I feel like I have to speak. I feel like I have to do something. I
Why?
don't like talking.
What are you hoping what you're sharing is gonna do?
Expose. I think why is I want to make it comfortable for someone else who feels insecure, anxious, depressed to say, I can. I think I want also people who feel that, you're great and you aren't confident or you're great, but you want to mask it down. Like we were saying earlier, you can. I don't think I've paid much attention to that. Why? Sometimes I just do, I think I just answered you because, you asked me the question and I felt maybe I should. But if I'm being honest, I think I just do.
Yeah.
Why I do?
You don't think about why.
Yeah, no, I just do. Because you can.
And because you want to.
And you want to, you want to.
Yeah,
So
sometimes that's good enough reason.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do things and I'm just like, man,
Yeah,
I just want to,
Yeah.
and I do it, and
Yeah,
because it feels right and it feels like it's something that I must do or that I'm supposed to do, so I just do it.
I mean, you can dissect it more, but I think the most honest answer I can give you is just because I want to. Yeah, that's about it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think artists are getting are there enough opportunities for artists?
I think ever since I started paying attention to art, I've seen a lot of opportunities for artists emerging or, up there. I've seen a lot of traction around art in Johannesburg, especially. There are websites that people can, the Bubblegum Club, Vansa, Vanessa, Visual Art something, yeah, Vansa. There's a lot of stuff out there for us to do. It's just a matter of you getting up and deciding you want to do it. So yeah, I think there are opportunities for us out there. Yeah.
That's great. What does your artwork represent?
Pictures of naked men. My artwork, it represents, like I say, it's an understanding of a heterosexual black South African boy expressing himself within today's climate social climate.
So do you think it represents this black South African boy, or it represents black South African boys who feel like that?
Each piece, right, is as much as it is my figure, as much as it is my modeling, and it is my hand, I try and distort the figure from me so that it doesn't look exactly like me, because I don't want it to be narcissistic, as in it's me, this black boy. It's a black boy's understanding of a climate, and that's why the colors are the way they are. You look at it and you interpret it in your own way, you know what I mean? And that's what it represents. Just you as a black boy in South Africa, heterosexual, straight as well. I think that's also something I need to highlight as well in terms of the sexuality. How do you perceive a picture of a naked man? And how do you express it? And that's me saying this is a starting point of how you can express being a straight, heterosexual black man in South Africa.
Because it's okay to be naked as a heterosexual black man.
I remember when I started this artworks, there was a friend of mine who said to me that artists painting naked women and admiring paintings of naked women is a male gaze. And I challenged that. I said, no, you're lying. I just like how beautiful he is, and I just want to. And then she was like, yeah, that's still male gaze. I'm not saying that yours is offensive. I'm not saying yours is oppressive, but it is what it is. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to paint naked men, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to appreciate the naked men as much as I do the naked women. And I realized that I don't. Me painting a naked woman is totally different to painting a naked man. And that's why I was like, actually, this is something that needs to be communicated. Because when you look at this picture and the way you look at that one against each other like that, it's a different interpretation, a different feeling, a different, thought process. So that's why I said, let's go this way. So it represents an expression of how you can identify, or how you can observe, interpret a naked man.
Oh, wow. So I had, for like a couple of days, maybe a week, I worked at an art gallery.
Okay.
And when I was during that time, someone said to me, you never ask an artist if the work is done. I think it was a friend of mine who said that, actually. So how do you know when your piece is done?
I know it's done when I can conclude the questions about the expression that he's giving me.
Okay. Please elaborate.
Yeah, like I say, it's expressive work. When I mix the color, the paper's wet. I mix 3 colors on top of each other. If I'm going for green, it'll obviously be the blue and the yellow, mix it until it becomes green, and then find either a complementary color or, a color that, complements or nullifies that color. And then once I look at it and I can see that it's expressed to me that this is where it wants to go, then I'm saying I'm done. I take 3 days to finish one painting because I need it to dry. Then I need to paint on top of it. Then I need to try again. Then I can paint on top of the whole thing. And then after those 3 days, if I feel, it's expressed, the colors enough, the figure, then I say it's done.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. What advice would you give someone who wants to make a living from art?
Pay attention to everything. Yourself, your environment, the industry, and your artworks. Don't think because Basquiat did it the way he did. Don't think Andy Warhol because he did it the way he did it. Don't think Michelangelo because the way he did it. Look at yourself in the industry. Look at the industry around you, environment. Pay attention. Be very knowledgeable, and play your cards right. That's what I'd say. Play your cards right.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about Tipped Noir.
Tap Noir, Chesa. Now we're going away from the art.
It is still art.
It is. Tap Noir is a YouTube channel, podcast, sit down interview that I host under Channel Noir. That's the channel piece, Channel Noir. Channel Noir it's gonna host a lot of shows right now. The main focus is Tap Noir. It's basically a sit-down session with emerging personas. I don't necessarily want to look at artists. I'd like to talk to politicians. I'd like to talk to even a street vendor, someone who owns a spaza at the corner, and just get to know the humanity of the person. The main questions obviously are: who are you, what do you do, and why are you here? After that, it's basically a general conversation, diving into psychology. So I don't want to say this to people, but it's a psychological, it's a study, psychological study, studying the person, just to know, like even you right now, who are you to do this? Why are you to do this? And that's basically what Tap Noir is. But I'm just the host. The channel, there's a lot that goes under.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So when did you get the idea? When did you start?
I started it. Was it 2020 or 2021? I think 2020. I was chilling with Ulil Bob Bernstein. He's a friend of mine, filmmaker, animator. He's a god of a virtual art band called the Gantro.
I watched that episode.
Yeah, Lil Bob Bernstein. So it was crazy. We were hanging out. I just recovered from COVID. One of our friends wasn't really coming to come and chill with us, so just him and I at my place. We're sitting bored as hell. We were bored. Didn't know what the hell to do with our life. And then I went outside. He was inside, busy on his phone. I forgot. I think I was playing with my dog. And then I went outside and I just set up, and I said, Bob, come out. Came out. I said, sit down. I saw what he was wearing and I just decided to dress in a similar way, shirt on. And then I put the camera on and I started recording. And from there, then it was like, oh, wow, actually, let's do this on a regular basis. And it just took root from there. And now we just got more stuff coming out and stuff. Yeah.
Oh wow! I'm one person that is for spontaneous ideas. Like the moment I get an idea or the moment I feel like I want to do this, I do it then. Because if I don't, I'm gonna end up not doing it. And most of the times, those spontaneous ideas end up being like dope stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just I'm for spontaneous ideas. Do you think it's important for artists to have social media or to be more present on social media?
It depends. No, I don't think it's important. You just have to know what type of artist you want to be. You have to know what type of artist. I want the clout. I want the fame. I want to be known.
Yeah.
I want to be known. So that's why for me, I feel like a social media account, a following matters, because I want you to know that I did this.
Yeah.
I want to be read in a textbook. In like 20 years from now, I want to be in someone's textbook in high school or varsity. So for me, yes, it's important. But some people, you don't really feel like you just want to sell. So then in that case, you can create your portfolio, send it to the gallery and exhibit, and they can handle the movement of your career, and you don't have to do it on your own. But I want the clout, and I want to be in control and in charge of my brand and my image and my following. So that's for me, that's what I think. I don't think it's major important.
That's dope. I hope my nieces and nephews and their kids, because I'm not having that, and their kids 20 years from now, when they're reading about Chevy Noir and their textbooks, they come and look at this episode, and they know that I chill with him. Do you think art is supposed to heal and teach and bring change and all that good stuff? Because one of my guests, I haven't uploaded her episode, but she was here last week and she said we give art too much responsibility. She made an example of, let's just say you paint walls blue and that's just your job. And then if someone comes and that blue wall touches them, it touched them. If someone comes and that blue wall does nothing, it does nothing. So what is your view, opinion, or perspective?
I haven't had this conversation with this said artist, Utogos Anima Donzela, but I remember people talking about his art. And someone said that his approach is a 70-30 split. 70% of the art is him, 30% of the art is you who observes the art.
Okay.
You know what I mean? In that 70%, it's you make it, you interpret whatever you interpret of it, you put it out. The 30% is you then complete the artwork by interpreting it the way you interpret it, and that completes the art. In that way, we've made 100% art piece. You know what I mean? So for me, my artwork will mean something to me, but I'm not going to impose that interpretation or expression on you. You know, you interpret it the way. So what art is supposed to do, it's supposed to be made.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Why it's made, that's on the artist. Why it's put out there, that's on the artist. How it's received, that's on you. I think, yeah.
Oh, wow. I learn each and every week. Each and every day, actually. Where do
Yeah.
you see yourself professionally in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years,
It's 2027, I think.
2027. God damn. I don't know.
Where would you like to be professionally in the next 5 years?
Professionally in the next 5 years, I think if I'd like more exhibitions. So as many
Locally, internationally?
everywhere, international, including South Africa, obviously. I just like to exhibit more. I'd like to connect more. I'd like to travel more. I'd like to be in circles more. I'd like to have more of a client list and a contact list, just people of reference. You know, I'd actually like that. Yeah, by then I should have a proper client list where if you are not worthy of buying my art, you cannot. I'd like to be in that position. Like, I can only sell to a certain type of person. Right now, obviously, it's still building, but I don't have it yet. And there are artists out there who do have client lists where if you're not worthy, you don't get it. So I'd like to. I think that's one of them. You know, yeah, more exhibitions, more of a community.
That's dope. Do you think you'd ever like to teach art?
Definitely. I definitely wanna be a lecturer.
Oh,
That's a
wow.
definite thing. I wanna be a lecturer in a university, rock up into the class with my pajamas and say to the students, the reason why you are alive is worthless. Go out of my class and die.
Oh, wow.
And then call everyone back and say I apologize.
You'd be fired. You'd be fired.
I'd definitely be. But I'd like to be that crazy lecturer. That's my goal. I'd like that.
Yeah. Do you ever get creative blocks?
Creative blocks. I created Tap Noir because I wanted to fill the gap of not wanting to make art. Not necessarily that I can't, just I don't want to. I don't think I've had a creative block in the traditional sense that what is a creative block? Creative block, you can't.
Yeah.
There's nothing in your head. I have moments where I'm like, I don't want. So then I decided to create something else to fill in that gap in the space. So every time when I post stuff or work on Tap Noir, that means I don't want to make art. And if I don't want to make art or Tap Noir, then I go out and I meet people and I network. So that's how I fill it up. But that feeds into the creativity in itself. So it's not, it's just filling up the space with something. So I don't think, no. Just to answer your question, no.
I think I should get a formula as well, because now I can just be indoors in my bed for the whole week and not do anything.
Well, I mean, we did
not
that.
Be on socials.
We did that in 2020. We had a hard lockdown for 21 days. You couldn't go out. We had a it's over, guys.
Yeah.
Get out. It's time now. You need to learn and live. We'll find our solitariness and isolation again when we're, our careers have boomed and we're making the money that we need, and you can be an uncle. I don't want to be a father or anything ever, but when I can be a proper malume, then I'll but for now I need to be out. I need to meet people.
What do you do to make sure that you grow and develop as an artist?
Network, communicate,
Very important.
learn,
Very important.
understand, be within the circle, understand the circle, self-actualization, those type of things. Yeah.
Do you do or would you like to collaborate with other artists?
Definitely would like to collaborate with other artists, definitely. But before I do that, I need myself to understand what the backbone of my art is. I know what it looks like, but the backbone, there is an identity, I get it, but like I needed to have a backbone, like a proper structure, a proper skeleton. And once I get a skeleton that I can communicate with other people, then I'll definitely collaborate. Definitely.
Because I feel like that's very important. Because if you have that, then you will know what kind of people you want to collaborate with. You won't just collaborate with everybody, and then it doesn't really speak to your work. But yeah, that's very important. So just 4 quick questions.
Okay.
Favorite memory?
Favorite memory, shouting at my mother after falling down a double-story roof and breaking my leg.
Were you blaming her?
No, I just said to her, Mama, I'm dying, and she laughed at me, and I said, Mama, you're laughing and I'm dying. You can't laugh at me when I'm dying. And it was the best moment of my life because I got to shout at my mom for real. Like I shouted
and there's
at
nothing
her,
she couldn't
and
do
there's
about it because you're hurting.
Listen, I'm dying, Mom.
How old are you?
I think 10 or 11.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
What usually inspire you?
Usually inspires me are colors.
Yeah.
Colors.
That's dope. 2 people you wish to meet?
2 people I wish to meet. Trevor Noah, definitely on that list. I'd love to meet Trevor Noah.
Me too, hey.
And number 2, are they only people who are alive?
You wanna meet a dead person?
I mean, okay, Michelangelo, definitely like to meet him, but he's dead. An alive person, I think. He's on the tip of my tongue. Mtimbo. He's a musician from the UK.
Okay.
He makes amazing music. I'd like to meet that guy.
That's dope. One prayer that must be answered.
One prayer that must be answered. God, why the hell? Why'd you do it? I don't get it. Answer my question, man. Why?
Wow.
Why?
Wow. Okay. So how do people get a hold of you? Your socials?
The email is chevynoir20@gmail.com. Instagram handle chevynoir_. Yeah, that's how you get me. YouTube also. YouTube is Tap Noir. Obviously there's links, but just Tapped Noir. TAPPED Noir. NOIR. There we go.
So I have a little game about mediums.
Oh wow.
Since you named all those fancy mediums, but I have just the simple ones.
Okay,
so don't think
okay.
too deep. Just think simple.
Scary owl. You know where the danger is.
It's not.
You know where the danger is.
I'm gonna read the description of the medium.
Okay.
If you can't get it, I'm gonna give you 3 multiple choice answers or whatever to make it easier.
Okay.
But if you just get it, then
Yeah.
dope. So this is a type of painting medium that has been used for many centuries due to its quick drying ingredients and long-lasting pigments.
Acrylic?
No.
A fresco?
No.
Options.
Options is oil paint, tempera, and watercolors.
Tempera?
Yes, that's the right answer.
Okay.
Number 2, this medium replaced tempera and became the traditional artistic medium in Europe in the 15th century.
Isn't it fresco? I think. I don't know. Not fresco? Oil paint?
Yes, it is. This medium dries much faster than oil paint and is water resistant once dry.
That's acrylic.
Yes, definitely.
That has to be acrylic.
That is a rare medium in art materials as it can easily be erased.
Watercolor.
No.
Easily raised? Mm-hmm. And it's rare?
Yeah, because people don't use it a lot.
They don't use it a lot? Damn. Options.
Okay. Options are chalk, charcoal, and graphite pencils.
Damn. Those all can be erased easily. But pencil is harder than chalk. Chalk, graphite.
No.
No? Then chalk.
No.
What? Charcoal.
It's charcoal.
Oh yes, charcoal is easier than chalk. Sorry,
Yeah, it's charcoal. So the last one, we commonly used this medium in art classes growing up.
Pencil.
Yes, color pencils.
Okay. Hectic. Where'd you get those questions? What?
I had to,
Yes,
and make
sis.
sure that it's not easy.
Those are nice.
I had to make
Those
sure.
are really nice. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Today we had a painter, and I must tell you, I want to go and purchase a canvas and a paintbrush, like right now. Thank you so much, Chevy, for coming. Thank
Thanks
you
for
so much. It
having me.
really means a lot to me.
Sucks that we had load shedding though. I was enjoying the lights, but this is also nice. I feel like, you know what we did?
Yeah?
We went from Chevy to Noir.
Oh, okay.
Get
Okay.
it?
So that's like the clear.
Yeah, the
description.
colorfulness into the
Got it.
simplistically. The universe knew.
They made sure that it cuts at the right time with the right
exactly.
person. I got it. Thank you so much for watching and for listening. Please make sure that you tune in next week, Thursday, for another episode. The podcast is available on YouTube. Please make sure that you subscribe, like, watch, comment, and share. If you would like to be a part of our community, please send us an email. If you would like to advertise your product or brand, please send us an email. And the email is mamaforwork@gmail.com, which is MAMMA, the number 4 work@gmail.com. This is Umamowe Zizwe, and I hope I am leaving you with a heart full of art.